What's up, everyone? This is Talks with Kenny, and here today we'll be reacting to Uncle Tom Part 3. This should be Part 3. I don't remember exactly where I left off, so maybe there'll be some overlap between Part 2, but let's get into it.
An environment where the most successful people were the ones that had the greatest amount of education. Success does not come in a straight line. It's a zigzag.
I'm sick of people talking about, oh, when I go to a job, they're going to discriminate against me. Man, what about white privilege? I don't want to hear a lick of that crap anymore. You're stronger than that. You're more powerful than that. I'll tell you what, I go to a job interview and someone don't give me an opportunity, I'm going to apply for every single job on the block until I get a job. I don't need no handouts. I don't need your excuses. I'm going to go harder than everybody else on that job. And if you go hard and you put yourself in position, you will be successful.
What sounds more empowering? That sounds empowering to me. That you are the master of your own fate. Regardless of how many people are out in their way trying to put obstacles in your way, you can overcome, right? One side's saying, hey, you're an overcomer. You don't need no help. All you need is an opportunity. And then the other side's telling you that you can't do nothing about it. From birth, you've been set up to fail. And that the only way you can be successful is that we have to lift you up. You can guess what parties I'm hinting at based on my example. But that's how I perceive the two parties. One party saying, I'm not going to give you any special treatment. You got to do it on your own. One side says, I can give you your whole life. All you have to do is give me more power and more control. And I'll guide you to your future, to the promised land, the Messiah complex. I always joke around with my friends that if I ever found out that I was a diversity inclusion hire, I'll quit on the spot. I always joke around and say that because I believe that you hire me because I was the best for the job, not because of my skin color. But maybe it is naive of me to think that way, and especially in this day and age.
I never saw myself as handicapped because I was black, I was a woman, that I came from poverty. It was just not the way I processed the world. As someone who got a GED, went to a community college, then went on to get a 4-year degree, graduated magna cum laude, while I was working 40 hours a week, nights and weekends.
Bro, when there's a will, there's a way. Like, come on. This to me is inspiring. But hey, maybe because it just, I say it buys into my worldview. Maybe that's why I like it so much. But you can see where, like, come on.
At the community college library, my life has taken many turns. I married at 16. I dropped out of school. By the time I was 21, I had 3 small children. I had no idea that I would end up going to college and becoming a university professor.
Hard work.
Graduate school was very interesting for me in a lot of ways. I had this experience in a course that was being taught by a white female. She was actually a white liberal. At some point in the classroom, I'm sure I'd said something that really irked her because she turned to me and she yelled, "You'll never be able to change the fact that you're a black woman." And I interpreted that to mean that I was handicapped, whether I knew it or not. There I learned that I was black, I was poor, I was a woman, and that I was not supposed to have accomplished the things that I had already accomplished.
Like, it's brainwashing. Imagine that every day. No wonder these people who graduate from college are so focused on race. Every day these people are pushing in your face that you're black, you're black, you're black. You're not supposed to do this. You're supposed to need help. You're powerless. This is why I reject CRT. I think CRT is garbage. If you ever bring that mess near my kid, we're going to have problems. Let's continue.
Which was success. By then it was too late.
When I was a kid, I went to a summer camp in an area of California called Yucaipa. Really bucolic, flowers everywhere. It was just wonderful. It was a Boy Scout jamboree, and there were hundreds of Boy Scouts from all over California. And from what I can tell, there were just a handful of blacks. I was in a cabin with maybe 7 or 8 kids, and we'd been together now for 3-4 days. And there was one kid, he and I got into some sort of argument, I don't remember why, and he called me a nigger. And I literally had to restrain the other kids from killing this guy. I mean, they were just going to kill him. They were more angry about it than I was. And so I never really felt that those who are bigots, the racists, were in the majority. I never really felt that. I always felt that people who were bigots intuitively were in the minority, and most people didn't feel that way.
Like, imagine that. You want me to vote for a party solely on race when these people that you are concerned about make up a small percentage of a certain group. And you want me to worry like every day I wake up, you want me to worry about them? Get out of here. I got more pressing problems to worry about. My family, number 1. Their safety, number 2. Their livelihood, number 3. Like, that's my problems. As long as your racism doesn't interfere with what I'm trying to do there, I don't care. Now, if you bring them problems to me in my front door, you know, the blinky waiting for you. But this is why I'm so pro 2A. But people want to leave me defenseless, so I'm more open to these people, right? Creating the very problems that you're thinking you're trying to correct. Defund the police, I got no one to protect me, and then you want to take my guns away too. And then when the racism come out here, like let's say there was a racist around here and he wants to, oh, I know these black people are unarmed. He come around, destroy us, shooting us. I can't defend myself. You want me to be sitting ducks, and then you're going to use the very same event to justify some new policy you're trying to push. Is that the game? Is that politics nowadays? Let me know in the comment section, people.
That seemed to be consistent with my own personal experiences. I was always confident. I always knew I had a good memory, made good grades, and my parents gave me a lot of positive feedback because of that. I always knew I was going to be an achiever, and there was no doubt about that. The only doubt was the route. There was never a time when I thought of myself as a victim. Never. Not one time.
You're afraid of being marginalized, right? Welcome to what it feels like to be black.
Man caught on video unleashing a racist rant.
An alleged racist incident.
Racial bias.
Racist tendencies.
Racism from coast to coast.
The open racism. Statements of racism. He was brutally beaten by attackers yelling racist and homophobic slurs.
Racist drifter.
Is it racism? Is it sexism?
How do we get white people to see racism as their problem too? That was racist. Racist.
Go back to Africa, kind of racism.
Straight up racist.
Racist tweets.
Racist tweets.
Those tweets are racist, a racial dog whistle.
The most successful black Americans today are Nigerian Americans because they're not brainwashed by our media.
We've heard all.
I'm Haitian. I can attest to that. Black trauma don't apply to me. Sorry. So if America is racist today, that means I should have some evidence to like block me from doing whatever. Just because I look like you guys. But that's not been my experience. Now people are going to be coming here, oh, you're not black, you're not really black American, whatever. But end of the day, no one knows where I came from just based looking at me. You would think all you see is, oh, he's black. So if there is systematic racism or if there is a racist out there, he's still going to target me. I just haven't found that to be my experience. The worst someone can say is call me the N-word. And even when they call me the N-word, I don't even think they're racist. I just think they know that that's a offensive term to use to black people, so they'll use the word. I don't even think they're really racist. They're probably jealous of me or something. They saw me pull up in my car or something. They're mad at me and they call me the N-word. I don't know. But that never happened to me, in my face at least. Maybe behind my back they said, but I can't do nothing about that. I'm not going to stress and worry about people saying names under their breath when I can't even hear them. You confront me with it, I'll handle it when it comes. But there's no meaningful obstacle a racist can do today in majority of black people's lives. And if there is cases, if you do have a case of racism, your company's being discriminatory against you, hey man, you got Title IX, y'all gonna win. You gonna win a lot of money. And look, Sesame Street, prime example. The Sesame Street story that happened. Lady believed the Sesame Street guy was being racist. She filed what? A complaint, and she was taking them to court. I don't know what happened. I didn't look into it. I don't know if she won or not. But hey, she said, hey, I have evidence of racism. Bam. Now she has a chance to win millions. If racism exists as much as people would like to push it out there, black people, we got some lawsuits to file. I need to be hearing day after day after day that you won this case, you won this mill, you won this. But the problem is it's hard to prove unless you can read people's minds, which is impossible. So we have to go by is their action. And from my experience, I haven't seen much enough to justify me worrying about race every damn day of my life. That's just my thoughts, my opinion, my perspective. You can disagree. You're more than happy to. But it's honestly how I feel about this stuff. Continue.
All about the big explosive cases of racial injustice in America. But that's not what most black people in America deal with. You deal with what we call microaggressions or 1,000 cuts of racism every single day.
I grew up being told of my disadvantages, that this country is unfair to black people.
You're black, you're not gonna be able to do it. You can't get this, you can't get that, you can't get bank loans.
When you walk into a bank, you will get a loan more easily if you are a white guy.
You'll get a loan more easily because you're a white guy. Statistically, white people have better credit than black people. So, right, if I remove color, right, if you don't know the person's color, you just say, hey, what's your credit score? And then you do your usual thing, the numbers will still play out the same way. Because statistically, black people have bad credit. That's just statistics, right? But can you find a policy in that institution, that loan officers institution, and see they have a policy where do not give a loan to black people? If you can find that, I agree with you, that's racism. But if you can't, it just so happened that there's just disparities. You can't automatically assume it's race. I can't agree with you there. I need more factors. There's a lot of factors that go into why you don't get a loan. Your income, your credit could be good, but if you're only making $20,000 a year, they ain't gonna give you a loan either. I'm just saying. I'm asking questions, bro. Come on. And I have to react, or else I'm gonna get copyrighted. But let's continue.
Ideology is implanted into you subconsciously to believe these things.
We don't teach our children to have confidence.
It's like we're brainwashed to think, well, is it because I'm black?
Sorry, I keep pausing it. This is one of the reasons I'm so against CRT, because I believe this is what they're doing. They're trying to early on to see your race, see yourself as at a disadvantage, and as someone else at an advantage just based on your race, so they can peddle this nonsense in the future. And you can't tell me that's what it is, because CRT is unfounded. It's an unfounded theory. It's a theory. America's founded on racism. The country that's founded on racism voted in the only black president. And if you look at every other country's equivalent to it, that's a majority white population, I have to add that qualifier, because then people throw on, Africa, Jamaica, and then predominantly black countries. I'm talking about predominantly white countries. America, as far as my knowledge goes, is the only country that nominated a black president. But that country is founded on racism. You see why it's hard for me to believe that? Let's continue.
Why are they looking at me like that?
How many of you feel judged? How many of you feel feared on site when people see you? Show hands.
We teach them to be scared of this country, to be scared of the world that they live in.
It's like a cancerous plague in the mind of black Americans.
You're trying to say that this country does not specialize in racism and bigotry?
I am saying that racism exists. I am saying that the United States of America
but you have the luxury. You have the luxury to be cavalier about it.
When you are angry, it's very easy to be deceived.
Yeah.
It's very sad to see black people operate in that. There's a lot of members in the black community who they are operating in very negative energy.
I'm letting you know that. I call out racism. That is maddening to me, and I'm crying about it because it's crazy.
If you keep yourself in this constant state of woe is me, I'm disadvantaged, I'll never accomplish anything, then you won't accomplish anything.
And then, so a man thinks, so a man shall be. If you think you can and you think you can't, you're usually right. And then the Democrats, right, because I think don't call me a conspiracy theorist, but everything I'm saying here is based on some fact. Majority of teacher unions are Democrat. I think I already stated this point already. Democrats, you don't think Democrats are putting in favor, hey, teach a certain view, put us in a positive light in history class, right? And then they preaching all this stuff, making you victim. And then politicians come out and say, we're here come to save the day. And then you fall for it because they're emotionally manipulating you. They can't rationalize their positions. They have to feel their positions. Even the questions, I kept saying, feel. That's what they do. They just want you to feel disadvantage. But are you actually disadvantaged? Most cases, no, you're not. But at the end of the day, you can't argue with feelings. If you feel in the comment section that I'm wrong about everything, it no matter what I say to you, no matter what rationale I give you, no line of thinking I give you will justify you unfeeling that way. And I think this is psychology. If you feel strongly about something, it's harder to change your mind about it than if you rationalized about something. I'm just saying.
It will be a self-fulfilling prophecy for you. If you determine that you can't be successful or that you're oppressed, then you are oppressed.
That's the power of the mind. If you believe that you can't, you won't, and you sure as hell won't try. And Black America has been programmed to believe that we can't.
The country was founded on racism and bigotry, David.
If you turn on a radio morning show,
you African American, the cops show up, we don't know if we're going to make it out alive. I'm sorry.
The message is clear.
If you broke and white in America, you're wasting your whiteness.
And that's what's being fed into the urban community.
White supremacy, it's the backbone of political and economic disenfranchisement of black folks.
So long as black people continue to have their psyche filled by that nonsense, we won't have an awakening.
Trump is a racist. He doesn't want more brown and black people here.
It gets brainwashed into you in multiple facets. We tend to be geared towards entertainment.
You need to know that a lot of your fans is racist.
People have used those entertainment personalities to convince us subconsciously what we should believe.
You don't think what he says is true? Democrats, they that's their playbook. Let me sit LeBron James, let me sit next to you. Cardi B, let me talk to you. So I look like, oh, Cardi B like him. Because they know black community, they're big into entertainment. The black community is not big into politics. Like I'm left or right, if you're a black person and you're into politics, you're the minority. Most black people are into entertainment. So Democrats go, oh, let me snuggle up with these Hollywood types. Let me have The Rock endorse me. Let me talk to Cardi B, the only person I interviewed. Let me talk to Charlamagne the God and tell him to his face that if you have a problem voting between me and Donald Trump, then you ain't black. No one came out and said, oh my God, Joe Biden's racist. No one said that. Because he got a D next to his name. Oh, he didn't mean it. He gets the benefit of the doubt. Come on, we gotta stay consistent at least.
If you like that nigga, you motherfucking racist. Fuck you and fuck
Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, nigga, fuck Donald Trump.
I'm beginning to lose confidence in the Trump administration. Yeah, what do you think of that?
I think it's actually a great thing.
Jay-Z has always been a drug dealer to the black community. He's very open about the fact that he used to sell crack cocaine when he was living in the projects, and that's how he got ahead. So he was selling something that was harming the black community. Well, he's still doing that. He's still selling something that's harming the black community, and it's flawed. And
to me, especially in front of liberals, y'all want to call black conservatives tap dancers. White liberals explain how you are oppressed. They already come kind of expecting you to say a certain thing. Hurry up and audition, right? But you're gonna say the same thing about black conservatives. Oh, y'all tap dancing for the white man. You doing the same thing with your liberal on your liberal side. You have canned answers. They say, tell us how much of a handicap you being born black is. Tell us how much you need us to come and save you. Come on. It's still plantation politics. The Democrats just changed how they do things. You supposed to let us feed you, clothe you, do for you, and you're supposed to attribute all your successes to the Democratic Party. That's their platform. You're there because of us. N-word. That's not the honestly, that's how I believe the liberals look at y'all sometimes. Now you can come here saying, oh, conservatives, the Republicans look at you guys the same way. Well, we both got a problem here now, don't we? So we need each other to keep the other side in check. But no, I don't want to do that. The black community is skewed towards the left. 90% of y'all vote Democrat. So who has more of a blind spot? Me or you?
Flying off the shelves, and that's victimhood.
We have to have the conversation. We have to have tough conversation. We have to talk about the N-word, and we have to talk about why white men are so privileged in this country.
Kaepernick, same exact hustle, right? This is a half white man who's chosen to pick his hair out to be an afro, to be black, because right now victimhood is hot.
I didn't know Colin Kaepernick was half black. I always thought he was Hispanic. That's just me. So now it's convenient. Now, now you want to, it's profitable. What I'm saying is not profitable. Well, he's saying it's profitable because 90% of black people are pre-positioned to believe that already.
Colin Kaepernick is making a ton of money. Jay-Z is making a ton of money. Is Black America any better? The communities are still hurting, but they get to line their pockets. And we accept the same type of crack cocaine.
The left gets away with this because 80 to 90% of the primary sources of news are left-wing.
My father was a janitor. He was born in the Jim Crow South. Fast forward, my father in his late 40s started a small business, got a little bit of property. This is what happens in America. Raised 3 boys, educated them. We have a thriving black middle class. If black America were a country, Brooke, it would be the 15th wealthiest country in the world. For crying out loud, this is not your grandfather's America.
America is an idea. That's why we're different than every other country. That's why we have freedoms that other countries don't. That's why entrepreneurs are birthed here. That's why there's so many millionaires here. That's why black people are doing better here than anywhere else in the world.
Can I hear a rebuttal in the comments? Like, to me, it comes off almost like entitlement. Oh, I want more, I want more, I want more. Are you working more? Like, come on. You expected someone to come in with $1 million and just make you a millionaire. That's why I'm so against reparations. I just think people just want to be, hey, just give me money because I just exist. Just give it to me. What's it? Consequences be damned. I want student loan forgiveness. Repay my dumb decision of getting a degree. Half the time they don't finish, but if they do finish, it's a degree that don't produce enough money for them to comfortably pay back the loan. So now you want people who didn't go to college like I did. I dropped out of college. You want me to pay for your degree because you can't. Woe is me, no? You made your bed, lay in it. Figure it out. I understand if you need help, like, okay, let's find a way to make opportunities. But I believe, honestly, colleges should pay that back. And let me know. There's a video that I watched a long time ago as a kid. And I think recently the guy posted like an updated version of the same video that showed that college is a scam. If you guys are interested, let me know. I could review that video right after Uncle Tom series. Let's continue.
It's very simple. This ideology, people begin to adopt around the world and they become successful. It's an idea. America is an idea. Anybody who adopts the idea of America will be American and successful. If you don't adopt the idea, you are not American. You're not going to get that far in America if you don't pursue the American idea.
I love that this country values individuals. As a Black American in the United States, I have autonomy, and the things that I do are of my doing. A lot of people expect, when you say farmer, they're expecting white tracts of land and tractors and stuff, but we don't have any of that. And I realize when I look back here every day, I'm proud of what we've gotten done so far. Started with chickens, which is the gateway farming to goats, rabbits, horses. These are my goats, Posey and Zelda. One's a Nubian, one's a Kiko. A really badly bred Kiko. This year was the first year that I ever had goats. Individualism, independence, and taking responsibility for your actions and for your food. I think that's for promoting small government values. When you do things yourself, you don't need the government to do it for you.
Self-reliant individuals. And the philosophy she pointed out is, I wholeheartedly agree with that. That's my bias. That's the core bias I have. That anything that restricts me of being a self-reliant individual, I reject wholeheartedly. I'm like, naturally, I'm already disproposed to not agree with you there. Now, you know, it's an uphill battle. I'm just letting that up there. But that's why I push. That's where I'm coming from. That I am a self-reliant adult. I don't need you, government, to be my parent. I had my parents already. They did a good job of raising me from 0 to 18. And now I'm a self-sustaining adult. And I wish to do the same unto my son. And I believe, honestly, if more of the Black community thought like I did, we'll be just like the Asian people. We'll be the highest earning minority group in America. which are the Asians, by the way. It's just a matter of here's an inconvenient truth. If America was founded on racism, how is it that the white people are what? Second place to our minority group, which is the Asians. On average, Asians earn more money than the white folk. Oh, yeah, I don't want to hear that, though. Let's continue.
I think Black Americans should believe and uphold the ideas of constitutional inherent rights. Without those beliefs, we wouldn't be where we are today.
I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any purpose of evasion or mental reservation, so help me God. We don't take an oath to a color, to a party, to a person. We take an oath to the thing that binds us all together, and that's our Constitution, that's our rule of law. Those of us that understand that oath will always be guardians of the American Republic. If I want to see this nation that I love so dearly continue on in the path of liberty, freedom, and individual rights, then I got to make sure the subsequent generations understand that, and they are willing to go out and fight for it and defend it just the same as I did, because I had a dad that inculcated that into me.
I have a question. Do you think the reason why the Black community is so focused on, I guess, emotional appeal, I guess, empathy, is because statistically we have the highest rate of single motherhood, and, you know, mothers are like biologically more nurturing than fathers. So they coddle us. I want to say they coddle us a lot, but they appeal a lot to emotion, and that's been taught in the Black community. And that's why I think we have that stereotype of being seen as more emotional compared to other races of people, like how Asian people are perceived as more logical than other groups of people, is because of the culture. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. It's just a thought that came into my head when Alan West was giving his soliloquy.
Your green herringbones, but take head first. Green hat with a brim on it.
At the age of 15, when my dad said that there was no greater honor than to wear the uniform of the United States of America, that's a powerful statement coming from a man that was born in 1920 down in the South. Never heard him say a bad word about the United States of America.
Sorry, I kept pausing it, but imagine a man born in 1920. He definitely experienced racism. I don't have to question it. He definitely experienced racism. And look how he came out. And us who is experiencing less significant racism than that man. But we have more things worse to say about America than he did. I'm just asking questions. Are we less resilient now? I don't know what it is. I think in general, America's been coddled. Because how I see it is, immigrants have more love for America than people who've been here for generations. And that's one thing I'm not going to repeat with my son. Hey, you gonna learn to love this country. Your grandfather, your grandma didn't bring us here to be oppressed. I don't want to hear none of that victim mindset from you. I'm not going to tolerate that from my kid. That's the traditions I'm instilling in my family, because that's all I can really control. Sure, I can control what I say on this YouTube channel and all, but the most influence I have is in my family, in my household, and in my life. And that's what I choose to focus majority of my energy on.
He went off to serve and fight for this country, even though this country did not see him as it should have seen him. But he wasn't a victim. The Black community really believed that if they could show that they were willing to stand side by side with white Americans and fight for liberties and freedoms, that sooner or later people would understand that we can't have this hypocrisy. Executive Order 9981 that President Harry Truman signed that desegregated our military, he finally realized that if we are true to ourselves about the liberation of other people from the tyranny of Nazism, fascism, and Japanese imperialism, well, we got to be true to that here in our own country, in the United States of America. And that's why Harry Truman's picture hangs in my house.
That's why the principles of the founders speak loudly to me.
Even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
I think it is an immoral posture to hold the position that individuals, whether they be Negroes or members of other minority groups, should have their basic constitutional and God-given rights held up.
Self-governance is what all of those grassroots people were seeking. They understood that the victimizer, i.e. racism and discrimination, may have knocked you down, but it's the victim that has to get up.
You have to quit and submit. This is gonna be it for me for part 3. Catch you guys back at part 2. It's a long day. Part 4. I'll see you guys in part 4. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.